And now I'd like to say a few words about Andrew Breyer, who will be introducing our first visionary, Jim Breyer. Andrew joined Accel in 2007, bringing with him a decade of operational and leadership experience while at Yahoo. His primary areas of investment include consumer internet and software, and he currently sits on the boards of Cloudera, OpenX, High Gear Media, Vox Media, Trusty, TinySpec, Glitch, Squarespace, 99 Designs, Ketanto, Prezi, and CardSpring. Whoa! Andrew also helps spearhead in his spare time Accel's investment activity in the FB Fund and serves on the National Board of Advisors for DonorsChoose.org, an online charity connecting donors to teachers and students in need. Andrew Breyer.
First lesson in public speaking, never follow a man with an Oxford accent. I've never left the Bay Area. So I was actually told backstage that we were only allotted 2 to 3 minutes for our introductions. And given that I usually like to squeeze in 1 to 2 minutes about myself, this will only leave about a minute for Jim. So first of all, I'd like to thank the SVForum and the individual organizers for taking the opportunity to honor Jim and his colleagues tonight. I would also like to thank everyone in attendance for coming to celebrate the impact of this group on our industry. This is one of the problems of being 5'9". Hold on a sec here. I'm trying to adjust. Can we adjust?
You're absolutely fine.
I can't, but it's like in my eyes.
Oh,
yeah.
Where would you like it?
Yeah, there we go. Thank you. I'm often asked what are the defining characteristics of a great venture capitalist. And although I am sure that we collectively argue about some of the smaller details, I have no doubt that we would all agree that those, like Jim, who have reached the pinnacle of this industry, share a number of common traits. First and foremost, the best venture investors are intellectually curious. In a business where what is new is old in the blink of an eye, the great investors' own personal evolution and industry knowledge mirrors the cadence of the underlying technical shifts. Secondly, they have to possess the ability to dampen the natural cynicism that bleeds into the evaluation of ideas that disrupt the status quo. They must share the ability to dream in as bright of colors as the entrepreneurs they have the honor of partnering with. And of course, dare I say, a little good fortune goes a long way as well. But it is those with a restless spirit that tend to put themselves in a position to capitalize on their good fortune when that moment arrives. Although the pillars of success across the greatest investors might be similar, I've always been more interested in their journey rather than in the end result. Jim Breyer, was born to John and Eva Breyer in New Haven, Connecticut. John and Eva fled Hungary after the Revolution of 1956 with not much more than the shirts on their back and an unbridled ambition for a better life. They worked multiple jobs to lay a strong foundation for their 2 young boys. When I asked Eva Breyer, when Jim first started to exhibit a passion for learning, she responded with, "When we were growing up, anything or anyone could be taken away from you at a moment's notice. However, what you learned could be kept for an eternity." You see, Jim had a head start on most of us struggling to reach even a portion of his success in this industry. He was fortunate enough to be surrounded by some of life's toughest and most hard-nosed entrepreneurs from the day he entered this world. Jim went on to graduate graduate from Stanford and Harvard Business School, and before joining Accel Partners, had sidetracked with a brief stint at McKinsey where he learned the craft of 2x2s and SWOT analysis, which he's always pulling out in partner meetings, as well as a quick stint at Apple and HP as well. Jim has had enormous impact at Accel and within the industry over the past 25 years. Jim hasn't only led Accel's investment in a number of category-defining companies, such as Real Networks, Foundry, Macromedia, Walmart.com, BBN, Facebook, Bright Cove, Legendary Pictures, Etsy. The list goes on and on and on, as you know, Jim. But has also played a key leadership role in the development of the firm and our expansion globally, including leading our efforts in partnership with IDG in China. But Jim's crowning achievement has been as the father of his 3 exceptional children. Jim, we at Excel Partners are all very proud to call you our partner, our friend, and our mentor. You have left a lasting impression on all those you have touched while building the firm over the past 3 decades, when you started when you were 5. We can't thank you enough for all your contributions. We are so happy that your work and your passion for entrepreneurship is being recognized and honored. Thank you very much, and I'd like to introduce Jim.
I was also told we had 2 to 3 minutes. I think we're down 1 minute. But I would like to thank, first of all, my partners. I see several of them here. Teresa, Tracy Sedlock, my initial mentor at Axel, Arthur Patterson. Great to see you. Lots of moments of drinking wine late into the night, discussing whether there was something beyond a software business in those days. Would there be something bigger than software? And I'm happy to say perhaps there is not. Andrew Braccia is an example of, in the venture partnership world, our job is to try to attract and hire people who are far better than we are. And Andrew is a pure and clear example of that. He is a fabulous partner, great friend, and a great venture capitalist. So I'd like to just say 1 or 2 things. I'd like to thank all the entrepreneurs that I've personally backed and we have backed at Axel who failed. And there are a lot of those. We've been part of a lot of that. And what is wonderful is how often they come back, and the second or third time, whether it's entrepreneurship and education, in the arts, in internet, social media, whatever it might be, it's that second or third time around that is truly defining. And that happens again and again, and that is the magic of Silicon Valley. We invest all over the world. My partner Samir leads our investments in India. He's here tonight. Ryan is my buddy in our Chinese investments. We have a wonderful team in London, but nowhere else in the world is there that magic of entrepreneurship where if you try and you fail, you're still a hero, and we know we'll back that person again, the second time, the third time, and that is part of the magic that my great friend and mentor, also Tom Byers, has written about extensively. The entrepreneurs we see at Stanford today who are out and they're trying to start their company when they're 20, 21, the advice is very simple. Try. If you fail, come back to us in 2 or 3 years. We'll back you again. And it's the best experience you can have, and it's what makes Silicon Valley very unique. So a lot of people to thank. I see so many friends, both in the audience, and it's an honor to be here with these great entrepreneurs, with Ann Dorr, personal friend, and it's a wonderful thing to see David Kirkpatrick get this award, who is a true visionary in his way. He came upon Facebook when there weren't too many believers out there. So thank you. Thank you to my partners, and thank you to all the entrepreneurs who are out either starting new companies or maybe starting companies in the next year or 2. And if you fail the first time, do it again. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Jim.